Hi, you guys. Hopefully, you can hear me. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys are having a good weekend. Um, I thought I was going to do this a lot earlier, but I was like, wow, it's 6 o'clock. So it's just so much going on, right? So much going on. I'm sure you guys have heard about this mass shooting that happened, I guess, not too long ago in Buffalo, or earlier, I guess, there. Um, and they're saying the guy, well, first of all, it's an 18-year-old. Okay, it's an 18-year-old. And I think it's important to say that because you have a lot of black people who tell a lot of lies out here about the climate in America, right? And so I think it's really important to understand this was a kid who did this, just like the one who shot up the church. When at that, what was the guy's name? The little boy. I can't remember his name. And they took him to McDonald's or Burger King or whatever. You guys know what I'm talking about. Um, so it's just important to understand the climate that you live in and not be so quick to try to just think if you brush that away or you ignore it, that it goes away. It doesn't. People don't have to sit out here and tell you how they really feel, right? They will show you when they feel like it. And this is a prime example of that. Anyway, I'm not going to get too deep off into him. I might come back on that. That's not really what I was going live about with this video, but that is something that just happened. And so I was watching some of the media coverage of it. Um, I wanted to talk about some other topics that have been out here. Did I even, I don't even know, what did I type in there? I don't even know if I think I know I brought up the whole Kevin Samuels thing with Pastor Jamal Bryant. Now, I find it funny that these people that follow behind Kevin Samuels, I understand some people, who feel a certain way, and you had a mouthpiece in Kevin Samuels, or was you and you was he, uh, whatever, however you want to say it. Y'all feel away. But Kevin Samuels said a lot of things about a lot of people. Like he talked about a lot of people's relationships, talked about a lot of people's lifestyles. And so when people say things about him, I don't understand why you think that he was supposed to have some right to say whatever he wanted to say, but hush up nobody else. I understand that he's deceased, but so are a lot of other people, right? And so I still don't get what you guys are trying to say with that. We talk about people that are gone all the time. People still talking about Tupac like he was like like he just left yesterday. Okay, so and I am in no way comparing that person to two. I'm just saying, Biggie as well, and a whole bunch, Whitney Houston, people. It's a whole bunch of people. Um, Charles Manson. We can talk about. Let me stop naming certain people before people confuse what I say, because people have a weird way of trying to confuse what people are trying to say. I'm not comparing him to these people in any way, shape, or form. So please don't ever in your life go there. In particular, Tupac. I'm not. I'm just saying people are in life and in death. They are going to get talked about. Whether it's a mass shooter or a celebrity, okay, or somebody like Kevin Samuels. People are going to say what they want to say. And, you can get upset over what he said, but what he said was true. Never give anybody that type of authority over you to tell you what you can and cannot have and what you can and cannot do. And they don't even have their own life in order. And I think that's what a lot of us was on YouTube saying the entire time anyway, about him and about that situation. I think that a lot of people got off, like, and I keep saying this, and so have some other people. A lot of people just got off on the fact that he was attacking the women that look like him. They love to see that division, and so they got off on that. And yeah, it's a lot of black people like that too. It's a lot of people that are, they're not even necessarily, they're not really black, but they can come in this country and they can they can get over using a fake black card too. It's a whole lot of stuff that plays into that. And of course, the women that he was uplifting, he was gaslighting, because and like I said that in one of my videos, if a man don't respect any woman, he don't respect no woman. Okay. And as Cynthia G would say, you gonna get the same black man, and a lot of these women can attest to they get the same black man. Okay, you don't see them out here doing all the stuff and saying all the stuff like they used to say, right? Because they have now raised a generation of children by themselves. They've had to call the police when they was getting their head knocked up against the wall, and it's all kind of, don't make me go there because I can go there. So they get the same man. And so he's gaslighting, and by saying that this woman deserves this and this woman deserves that. But along with whatever it is that he try to tell you that you deserve, you're gonna get a whole lot of other stuff that's gonna come with that as well. And a lot of these women are not gonna come to YouTube and tell you that. Okay. But I digress. So yeah, I'm sure you guys have seen the clip, and if you haven't, on Mother's Day, Pastor Bryant kind of said, what how he felt about the situation. And to be honest, you could tell, I don't know, he didn't say Kevin Samuel's name, right? He never said his name. So everybody that's flying off the handle, what if he's not even talking about Kevin Samuels? Because everybody got a lot to say. The celebrities, they got a lot to say, especially the little, self-loathing ones. They got a whole bunch to say in the gremlins. The self-loathers and the gremlins, they, all on Shade Room. Oh, that man is dead. So are a lot of people. People disrespect Whitney, putting her picture, her bathroom picture on the album cover. People say what they want to say, still calling her, talking about her drug addiction and this, that, and the other. I mean, it is what it is, right? If it is what it is for Whitney, then it is what it is for Kevin Samuels. That's it, and that's all. People out here making documentaries about Martin Luther King and making documentaries about Malcolm X and writing fake books and, rewriting history. And they saying what they want to say. So who is Kevin Samuels? That people can't say what they want to say about him. I'm trying to understand that. So I think, like I said, people are taking it personal because they are him. That's the people that's taking it personal, the ones that you are him. That's why you mad. I mean, you just got to stay mad because no one owes him anything more than what he's due. He's not due much. Okay, and like I said, we're all gonna leave here. We're all gonna leave here. That's it. And that's all on that. But let me know what you guys think about that whole Kevin Samuels situation. And yeah, I don't even know why I started with him because I really wasn't trying to start. I wasn't trying to start with him. Let me see if I have the video up. Um, let's see. I might have to show you guys from my because I don't think I uploaded that video. But one of the YouTubers, her name is Code Black. What's her name? Let me see if I can find her page, because you guys should go and support her channel. She's a new YouTuber, and as well, and she was pointing out, and I had said this myself. I had already said this. Code Black Facts, BLAQUE. I said this myself. Like a lot of those guys in the Black Manosphere and O'Shea, Duke Jackson, and whoever else out here, the Red Pill, a bunch of these guys who run their mouth and they have a whole lot to say about Black women. Um, they will, always, when they are attacking, they make sure that that the attack is supposed to be directed to the Black woman, right? But when anybody else say anything about them, like when some of the white YouTubers call them degenerates and say certain things or point out certain things, or they've had run-ins with them, they don't have anything to say. Mom's the word. Okay. And she's saying pretty much the same thing in her video. And I was kind of, I've said that a few times, but I was just saying that as well. And she's right. If she observed that, she's very right. They won't say anything to anybody else. They will only talk reckless to women that look like them, right? And that's because they're self-loathing. They have an issue with who they are, and it is what it is. Because we're gonna say what we want to say back, and if they don't like it, that's just too bad. Period. Let me see if I can find this video. But his landlord, and I don't know if this is new or if this is old. I doubt highly that the lady waited for him to die. And that's another thing that they are pushing that's not true. They're trying to put people under the impression that they're black people, or black women in particular, are only talking about Kevin Samuels now that he's gone. Like, who was he when he was alive that you think that we were not, especially when he put that strike on my page. I had a whole lot to say. I had a whole channel dedicated to him. Okay. A lot of people had a whole lot to say about him. I've already talked about that. We're not just saying this in his death. People said what they wanted to say when he was alive. So that's misleading. Anybody that's telling that story that way, that black people are only speaking up because he's no longer here, that is not, it's not true. Because Kevin Samuels wasn't going to say my name. He wasn't going to say anybody's who he deemed that he could help by saying your name, by helping people go to your page or whatever. He wasn't. A lot of, as you guys, I'm sure you notice, a lot of these YouTubers do that. They'll try to like code talk or whatever, but they won't say your name because they don't want to help you. And so he never said my name. He just came and was like, yeah, you need to get permission. He said something about people needing to get permission to use his videos. And when they emailed me about him on the back end, putting the strike on my page, they said that he was a LLC, and that any of his property, like he over there doing something. I'm like, he probably wrote the mess. I don't know. I feel like, I think they write it themselves, and then they, YouTube, they're going to give out your email, right? So he probably emailed it and said all the nonsense. I don't know who said it. I didn't respond to it. I just went and made a video about it, of course, and kind of went off on him. But that was then. As time went on, I was just like, I'm not going to dedicate my time to this man like that. But he definitely, I will say, he definitely gave us some moments, right? Like when he had the glitch. Uh, he had that glitch, that man laying in that bed behind him. he was the one who turned the camera on the person. And then he tried to say that the person wasn't there with him. But the landlord, she went on TikTok, and I'm trying to find this video. What did I do with it? She went on online, and she, oh, here it is.
So Kevin was out here renting rooms.
I've done nothing. Not you responsible, the whole entire house responsible, Kevin. Since the stay-at-home notification of COVID, everyone's working from home. The power, the water, the gas is exponentially. No, it's not harassment. You know what, Kevin? Just recording Kevin Samuels moving cardboard again from out from under his car. This video will be submitted to the HOA for repercussions of the removal of his automobile from the premises. I got all the spots with all the oil all over them, buddy. I don't care. I don't care. The oil is right all over the place.
So yeah, and this was around, I guess, the beginning of COVID. And I think that some people understand and some people don't. Like Kevin started making, he went, I'll just word it that way, into a different tax bracket. I don't know if I have that video on here. Because I tried to I posted before and I didn't talk about it in that video. And so I was trying to post it again, but it showed how much money he actually was making. Well, what they do is they don't tell you the exact amount, but they give you the range, right? So he made upwards of $700,000 last year. And that's just from YouTube AdSense. Now that's not including sponsors. That's not including people sending him super chats or sending him money or what have you. He also, I don't know how Clubhouse worked, but I know that he was on Clubhouse. I know that he was on Patreon, which you guys know there's a monthly fee for if you go to a person's Patreon. And oftentimes when people are on their Patreon, they're talking about stuff that they can't say on YouTube, right? So he had the Patreon, he had a Facebook, he had Instagram, and he may have had it set up where whatever he was talking about on YouTube went to his Instagram and went to his Facebook, and maybe he cut it down for Instagram. I don't know. Um, and so he was probably making money off of some of those other platforms as well. And then from what I was seeing, he had a sizable TikTok, and I believe that they do get money on TikTok as well. So he made a nice piece of change last year. Okay, so let's not be fooled when all this talk about that he's broke or he died broke. I don't believe that. I don't believe that he died broke. Now this was back in 2020. Obviously, it was around COVID, as you can hear that she's saying. You see him with the mask on, and that was around March 2020 when COVID hit. So it was somewhere in that time frame, 2020 to 2021, I guess, when the landlord was complaining about his car leaking oil. Um, but several people, like the Saint in the Center and PBM, he was also um, making videos about Kevin Samuels, and it was telling you guys that Kevin was not living the way that he was telling y'all he was living. Right? I said that in the video when I made a recent video. You guys can go look for it, about the Saint and Center going at it with Jessica X. I was saying then that he kind of went viral for fact checking Kevin Samuels, because he was running his resume and everything. Like, he was checking all the stuff that he was saying as far as where he worked and how much money he was making and this that, and the other. I don't know what he was telling his audience, how he came into all this money, because remember, he was supposed to be a high value man, right? And so, and he wasn't, right? He was just saying that. He Just because you dress the part do not mean that you actually are living the part. And so, yeah, people were already reporting on that. Now, I don't know how old this video is with this landlord and if she just put this out, but as you can clearly see and hear, she is a non-black woman, okay? But you won't hear no fire coming from the black manosphere, okay, at all. You will not hear it. So I do agree with Cole Black on that. They're not going to say anything to her for that, putting that video out or rerunning it, because a lot of people are putting stuff out that they already had out about him. Um, and I believe that video was on TikTok. So, yeah, that was kind of what I wanted to say about that. Like, you're not going to hear O'Shea Duke Jackson going in on the landlord. And so, yeah, I'm not surprised that he was renting a room, because in 2019, somewhere in the 2010s, he was making about a couple $2,000 a month. Like, he was not high value, okay, at all. And like I was saying, even from his child support paperwork, which is now also all over YouTube, the two women that he was married to, they made sizable salary, more so than him. So he was married to two women who were doing better than him. However, he tried to say all of this the stuff that he was saying when he was giving this so-called advice that y'all swear he was telling all this truth about. It was a contradiction of how he truly lived. Okay, and that was my point. That's a lot of people's point that they were pointing out, even while he was alive. So don't let people fool you and say that people are just saying all this stuff now. All of this stuff is there. Like the channel that I had up is no longer there with my videos. I said, and I keep saying this, that I was going to check to see if I can get into one of my old clouds. And if I could pull those videos up, I might put them on my Patreon, which, I'm not really working a whole lot with it right now, but I'll see what I have in there to, because there's some other people that are on here. There's another Caucasian guy, young guy who worked for Bloomingdale's, who also called Kevin Samuels out from back when he was dealing with him when he was doing the fragrance. He was doing the whole fragrance videos. He was having encounters with Kevin Samuels in Bloomingdale's there in Atlanta. So, it's a lot of stuff that's out here. People just don't know that it was out here. Okay. And so, yeah, like I was saying, a lot of us gave him grace. He was given a lot of grace. Okay. So don't let people fool you with the nonsense that they're trying to spread around. Nobody is as hateful as they are trying to play the situation. A lot of people were asking, well, what is going on with his funeral, right? Like, when is the funeral arrangements? But it is possible at 56, he probably, and with him just now coming into this money, he probably did not have his paperwork and things in order, will in order. He probably didn't have these things in order, right? And that's unfortunate. Like I said, people need to take care of themselves while they're out here doing all this yelling and screaming online. And I'm laughing, but I'm serious at the same time. You really should care. When they say health is wealth, that's real. That's the real wealth right there, your health. Anyway, so the next story, let me just go and jump off of him because I'm not coming on here to talk about Kevin Samuel's child. For real, for real. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought the young lady was making a great point. They're not going to say anything to that landlord, okay, about her putting that video out, but they want to come out here and go crazy on Pastor Jamal, man of God. I don't care what he's doing. None of us are perfect. None of us have to walk perfect. That's what Jesus Christ was for. Okay. If y'all don't know, now you know. We're not perfect. God already know we're not perfect. Okay. So don't nobody need y'all to point out how many kids he have. His kids know him though. So that's the difference. If y'all want to go there about that, O'Shea Duke Jackson, you don't really want to go there. And you out here hopping from country to country, people trying to find out what you're running from. O'Shea Duke Jackson, what are you running from? Exactly. Anyway, let me go and move on. So I wanted to also talk about some other stuff that was out here that now this just happened recently as well. And rest in peace to this young man. I don't know a lot about him. His name is because this is not this is not what I do. This is not my hip hop, and I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like it is. Um, but rest in peace to him. His name is Little Key, and he was one of Young Thug's artists on his label YSL. And he just recently passed away. And some of the blogs and stuff were kind of running these stories saying that he passed away from suicide or something like that. Or some people were saying some other stuff. And it's not true. His girlfriend had also posted a message, but I didn't put it in any of these videos. I'll try to put it up on my community tab, saying goodbye to him and stuff. It was a health issue. I believe they're saying this is allegedly because I haven't seen any formal reports on him, but someone online was saying that it was kidney failure. It wasn't all this stuff that people are spreading around. Okay, obviously his girlfriend is mourning, his brother, his family, right? So they can't keep up with all this foolishness. People be jumping out here in these internet streets, putting out here, and all these YouTube investigators and Instagram PIs. But yeah, someone was saying that it wasn't all this stuff. It was it was kidney failure. So and I guess because it happened around the same time as Young Thug, um, going to jail, that people were trying to make a connection between that, right? And it's just that it's a coincidence that these situations are happening at the same time. Condolences to his family. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that, and then I just wanted to briefly talk about this whole Brandy and what's the little Jack Harlow situation. Now, I thought Jack Harlow was the son of DJ Drama, and I used to listen to DJ Drama when I lived in Atlanta, so I was very familiar with him. Now, I'm not familiar with his personal business. I don't try to get up in everybody's personal business just because you hear me on YouTube. I really don't know these people's business like that. Um, I thought when his house was raided, and this was some years ago, so this is not something recent, but I thought when his house was raided, he was married to another, to because I believe he's biracial. I thought his wife was biracial as well. So, and she was leaning more on the brown side, because the media was calling him a white guy, right? And that became a big story there in Atlanta because everybody was like, we didn't know you was white, right? Even though looking at him, you clearly could tell that he's biracial. But just listening to him on the radio, he was definitely a person about town, and he was about hip hop in Atlanta. So to hear anybody claiming that they're his child, not know who Brandy is like, I had to go look into that. And so it turns out that's not his child at all. He is fully white, and his parents are, I guess he's from Kentucky or something. I'm talking about Jack Harlow. And I guess he called himself taking a shot at Brandy and her family over the recent stories with Ray J not wanting her continuing to tell his lie about him having holding some sex tape over her head. And then the whole thing about some years ago, because even Brandy's mother was the one who put this out, Miss Sonia, she was the one who put it out there that they had took the money from Brandy's credit card. And that story's been out here for years. That's not a new story. Um, but you know, um, obviously they have their street team and their PR people, and they go around buying up all these blogs, that these urban blogs, and force feed the world their stories, like everybody is really waking up wondering what they're doing, and that's certainly not true. Here's my issue with the whole situation. It's disrespectful when you have people. It was a bunch of people sitting in that room, and they always go and get that little black guy. Every time I see anything from this little group of people from this radio station running their mouth, they always go get that one black guy and sit him up in the scene to act like there's some type of black representation there. Okay, but you guys are in a culture that was started and built by predominantly black folk. Okay. um y'all got a job because of there was a Brandy. I'm gonna say it again, y'all have a job because there was a Brandy. Now if you're under 40 and you don't understand what I'm talking about, then you should do your research, okay, before you jump on these comments and start talking out the side of your neck. Sometimes people should know what they're talking about before they're talking. These people have a job because there is a Brandy, because there was a Brandy. Okay, you have a job because there was a Big Daddy Kane. You have a job because there was a Run DMC, a Curtis Blow, a Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. Okay, you have a job because of those people. You have a job because of Audio too, because of MC Light and the Queen Latifahs and the Salt and Peppers, the Will Smith who y'all try to say, and he don't have to be a street rapper. Young MC wasn't a street rapper either. Okay, I know Chris Rock was the one saying that he was soft, but that's why I was bringing that up. You guys have a job because of those people. Those were the first artists to really go commercial in this country. Okay, and all of them are black. Okay, so let me say this, MC Hammer. Let me say this. Um, y'all don't have no rights, honey, to try to use our culture to try to disrespect somebody black and think that we can't call you out about that. Yeah, we're gonna say what we want to say, you know. And this little boy out here shooting up black folks, and y'all up here trying to act like that, like y'all living in paradise or somewhere. You're not. So don't sit here and try to correct somebody when they call it out racism. It's systemic racism. Okay, because clearly whoever owned that station hired you and put you in that position, and instead of you guys sitting, those people sitting there and correcting that guy about his attitude, about he don't know who Brandy is, he didn't know her voice, because people are like, well, he didn't say he didn't know who she was. If you don't know her voice, then you don't know her. And everybody knows her voice. Brandy's been on television for 20 plus years, on and off. She's on TV right now on a show called Queens, so everybody know her. Just like you know Mariah Carey, you know Brandy. Just like you know Tony Braxton, you know Brandy. Just like you know Janet Jackson, you know Brandy. Okay, so we're not going to disrespect people to try to take hits for other people, right? Because that's what they were doing with that. Okay, because Brandy and because Ray J put them on blast. And so now you're trying to take hits for people in somebody else's culture, and you know, which is a very high level of, that's disrespectful. Okay. And just because you don't respect yourself, all black people don't think like you. That's you. And so, yeah, that is that part for me. I wasn't feeling that at all. Sitting watching that little clip and they sitting there kikiing. They should have said to him, well, if you know Aaliyah, then you should definitely know Brandy, because that comment didn't make sense either, because either you're playing into some colorism kind of game that you don't know anybody black that's darker than a brown paper bag. I mean, what are you saying? Because he wouldn't have been able to hold no type of conversation like that with me. He would have been checked at every point. Because if you know Aaliyah, you know Brandy, because they came out at the same time and they were the same age. So if you're trying to say that that's when your generation cuts off and knowing people, then you still should know who Brandy is. And like I said, Brandy is on TV right now, and her voice is out here. So, and she has a distinctive voice. People, when you hear Brandy's voice, you know it's Brandy. Just like you know when you hear Mary J. Blige, just like you know when you hear Mariah, just like you know when you hear Janet, you know when you hear Brandy's voice, just like you know when you hear Monica. Okay, I understand y'all not singing no more. Y'all here using chipmunk, chipmunk auto tunes and all this stuff out, all this modern day equipment to create a voice. But people had voices back in the day, okay? And so and people know these voices when we hear them. You know, Luther is no longer with us, but I know Luther's voice when I hear it, okay? People know Ron Isley's voice when they hear it. People know Stevie Wonder when they hear him. So we're not going to play that racist game or allow anybody to get past being disrespectful to our culture while you're sitting in our culture, making a living off of it. So yeah, let's keep our respect levels up if you think somebody should show you any form of respect. And then I was laughing because I feel like these young people today, y'all that took respect out of the music industry and out of music and everything else because y'all don't have nothing to respect. And I get that, but that's not how we do things, okay? Because people paved the way for you to be here, regardless of what the music, how you get music today, and regardless of what y'all out here doing. Somebody made it possible for you to be in that position. So yeah, respect for our generation is still it's necessary. Okay, and people tried to call India Irie out for saying the same thing that I'm saying, and talking about it wasn't that serious. No, it wasn't that serious for them to even do that in the first place because they could have asked him off air, who do you know and who don't you know? Why are y'all even sitting there asking somebody that's not even black about a black person? And y'all already know these people in hip hop are not real hip hop. Since we go in there, since people love running their mouth, let's run. If y'all not real hip hop, y'all shouldn't even be speaking on it. Period. Because Brandy is real hip hop, for real, for real. She's R&B. She's a part of a culture. She is the culture. So y'all play the reindeer games with yourself. Don't in your generation. Don't do that to people that made it possible for you to be where you are. Yeah, and especially sitting in that radio station because I don't even know where the heck they came from. And that's just keeping it all the way real. Like somebody literally, whoever owned that station put them there for whatever reason. So if y'all want to go there, we can go there. Don't nobody even know who y'all are. And we don't have no reason to know you. Okay, so since I'm on the road on this Saturday, what else let me see. Oh yeah, they're out here saying that Young Thug is, I don't know what's going on with that, but they're saying that he's in a cell, I guess. Now, there are some people that they do hold in cell for 23 hours and they just let them out for an hour for whatever reason. I don't know why what happened for them to put him on that type of a hold. Um, that's what it sounds like because they're saying that he is in a cell pretty much all day. Maybe because they're saying YF and Lucci is in the same place. Um, Maybe that has something, they're trying to separate them and separate whoever YF and Lucci is running with in the jail because he's been there for a while, so he probably have his friends and stuff now that he's cool with in there, that he probably wasn't cool with when he first got there, right? Like, I'm just saying. So maybe that's the reason. Maybe they're trying to separate them. His lawyer is trying to get him a bond because the judge denied both of them bond, Gunna and Young Thug, when they went up for that. So I don't know. They may get the opportunity to try to convince the judge to give it to him um, again. I don't know. I'm curious, real curious to hear this evidence. I'm just curious to see and hear this evidence, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see on that. Um, oh, and then this other story. Speaking of people trying to set up foolishness, and I don't know what's going on with Nicki Minaj and Cardi B. I feel like instead of people, trying to keep the nonsense going, why are they not trying to stop all of that? Right? I think that even back when Little Kim and Foxy Brown was kind of going, they never, if they were going at it, they certainly was not doing it in the media, right? And it just looks bad. It looks bad that people that are in the industry are not telling them to cut it out, because clearly, I mean, something's going on. You know, Armand Wiggins was out here with the whole thing about she was spooked and scared at the Met. Nicki Minaj was spooked and scared at the Met Gala, and so that kind of grew wings, I guess, and so the story, and so now they're saying that Nicki set this DJ up to say that Nicki Minaj was in the club. Let me play you guys this clip that I saw on Instagram. I mean, not on Instagram, on Twitter. And you guys tell me what you think in the comments, though. Shout Nicki Minaj in the motherfucking building. Let's go. Nicki, let's fuck it up. Let's go. Now, they were looking around, looking for her. They can say they wasn't, but it definitely looked like they were looking for her. Now, according to Armand, and I don't know if I even still had a clip of Armand because Armand went live about this yesterday, and I feel like he's kind of like a social media talk um, mouthpiece for Cardi at this point, because he's putting all this stuff out here, and I don't know if that it even helps Cardi, right? I really don't. I think that people should tell them to knock it off, both of them. If you guys don't like each other, that's fine. Don't like each other, but you don't have to sit out here with all of this because eventually all this stuff is going to escalate, right? And then you're going to end up with the same one. Well, it could be, or it could be something else. Other like Little Kim and Foxy Brown got into it with somebody shooting at somebody's truck or something. I don't know, child. I don't know what was going on. This story that was out here. We didn't have those social media back then. But nobody wants to see all of that. Nobody wants to hear all of that. I think that people need to bring it down, and people should be telling them, knock it off. Y'all both have small children. Like, don't, it's not cute. Like, at least little Kim and Foxy Brown was doing all that stuff before they became mothers. You guys have children to live for, stuff to do. Y'all shouldn't even have time to be trying to get one up on the other, because some people are saying that Nikki set her up to do it, and we don't know this to be true, right? Because Nikki haven't said anything about this, and she also have her people that follow her, the Barbs, and it could have been any of them. It could have been anyone. Who's to say? Who's to say who's a Barb, and who's to say who's in Cardi's crew, whatever her crew is called? And who's to say, right? But I'm just saying, it just knock it off. Like, it's not even cute to me, you know, um, that they're out here doing that, all that, going back and forth with all of this stuff. Anyway, what do you guys think about that situation? I was gonna play, and I just, now that I'm thinking about it, I probably won't even play Armand. But if you guys want to hear, he had a whole lot to say yesterday, and trying to is saying that the DJ was beat up. Why would you want to see the man get beat up? Because maybe he was set up as well, like he said, because he came out and apologized over the situation. He said that he was given a piece of paper, and it said that it was Nikki. Now, I don't know where this DJ, I don't know where this DJ was positioned. I guess they can't see over the entire place. Maybe they can't see into the VIP areas. I don't know, but I don't know how he would not know that Nikki wasn't there. Their husbands don't look nothing alike, and that's one of the clear ways of telling them apart, right? So I don't really know why he would do that, unless he's, like he said, somebody just gave him the paper and he just said, well, whatever was on the paper, and he really didn't go to see if Nikki was really there. But even they were looking for her, so they didn't even know if she was in there or not, because you guys could see them looking around. So I don't know. I just feel like it's just, and it's, I don't like it. That's just my opinion. I don't. I think they need to cut it out. Like, I feel like women in hip hop have the opportunity right now to really take over, right? And really position themselves if they really, really wanted to, with the Megans, with Cardi, with Nicki, Remy, some of the other girls that I like Dream Doll. And, if they could position themselves, why get into all this foolishness and put another dark cloud over hip hop when you guys can be just taking over the whole thing? Like, why do that? Like, why get caught up in some nonsense? And what are they even fighting over anyway? Right? Just like the whole thing with YFN and Lucci and Young Thug. Like I was saying, like, to hear what they are arguing over is complete nonsense. Okay, you sit up here arguing over somebody's lyrics. Like, you say what you got to say back to them, and then y'all leave that mess alone. Like, it's not, why, it just don't make sense. And then my whole other thing, since not Cardi, well, it's about Cardi, but since Armand is over there, I know Armand is gay, but he's still a black man. Now, these black men be having a whole lot to say, right? They got a whole lot to say right now about any black woman if you say anything about Kevin Samuels. But how funny it was for me to sit there and hear her emasculate that black guy in that club, because the DJ said he didn't know. Now, I can understand she feeling away, but she probably should have let her husband handle the conversation about that. Um, and then people were saying that to Armand. He was like, no, her husband was going to handle him another way. He was going, he got jumped. He was beat up and none of that. The man don't look beat up to me. He looked like he had bags on his eye because he was a DJ and he probably was up all night. And then he decided to go live and figure out what he was going to say in this apology. He didn't look beat up. And if he would have got beat up, I doubt highly he would have even have apologized to them. But anyway, I just thought it was interesting that she was kind of like saying, oh, we living dangerous, or whatever she was saying to him. I was like, see, this is the stuff that people be talking about right there. Like, why is she talking to this man like that? in the first place. But yeah, I'm not even gonna get into it. I just was tickled by that because some people were asking, kind of like trying to call Armand on that, but he was like, oh, but he was taking care of the situation in another way. It's just a lot of, it's just being messy and it's just stirring the pot. And I don't know if she paying him or not, but it definitely comes off like she is, because he's definitely taking a side in it. He's trying to act like he's not, but you are. You don't even know if Nikki had anything to do with that. Prove that she has something to do with that. You should really know that for sure, because she can't control these people that are her fans, just like Cardi can't control people that are her fans. They can't control these people that's running behind them, doing things in the name of Nikki and doing things in the name of Cardi, doing things in the name of Foxy and doing things in the name of Lil Kim. Like it's just it's just not a good, it's not good. And I hate to see Armand allowing himself to participate in that, because that could turn real ugly, and people are definitely going to put you in that if it does. So I don't know what he's thinking with all of that, but money make people do stuff, right? It just make people do a bunch of nonsense for no reason. It's like, have some integrity, have some common sense about yourself, and stand out people's foolishness. If y'all want to act crazy with each other, that's between y'all. That don't have nothing to do with me, and it's not gonna have nothing to do with me. You're a grown man. You need to stay out of people's nonsense. Because what if whoever's fans come in and decide they want to take it out on you, since you got so much to say? Then what? Now you taking licks for Cardi? Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. Like it's just like, all money is not good money, just like that saying goes. And that's it. Don't even, it's not. It don't get realer than that. It's just not. But anyway, he's also now hosting gagging, which we all know that Jason stole gagging from Kaya. Gag order. She moved it to her, I guess, her website. Speaking of Kaya, but she started the whole gagging thing. Um, and so has a show. I don't know who he has a show under. Maybe it's just his own project. I don't know, but he's allowing Armand, I guess, to host sometimes. After that big conversation about, he had Chelsea working for him for free, and Chelsea is Tasha K's assistant, booking person, producer, whatever she do over there, child. And so they were saying that he was going to try to use Armand the same way, have Armand working for free or whatever. And so I guess he gave him a position. So good for him. If he is getting paid, right, I guess it's a good thing. Now, they didn't speak on it other than, he was going to take over hosting that for him. Um, Let me know what you guys think about all of that as well. I just think that he needs to stay out of that Cardi B stuff, that Cardi and Nicki stuff. Like, let them handle their own mess or whatever they got going on. And that's the thing about it too. Like, even though some people, they go in for a very long time holding things against people, sometimes people will become friends. And then you'd have done all this stuff and said all this stuff about somebody in the name of you being somebody's fan or whatever it is that you're trying to say you're doing over there. Um, and then you just end up looking away, right? Because now they're together as friends or whatever, and now you just said and done all this stuff. Like, Nikki don't have to forgive people for doing the stuff that they're doing on behalf of other people, right? And I'm sure she's taking mental notes of who's doing what anyway. um, I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that whole thing about people getting into these YouTubers and whoever else getting involved in other people's arguments and conversations. Like I said, I don't even know the root of it, to be honest. So I know I don't care. Okay. I just don't. I would just prefer to see these girls doing more work wise and really just smashing right now that they had the opportunity to do that. The Megans, all of them. I don't want to hear all this nonsense. And that's just how I feel about it. Um, Now, this next story, and probably I think this is the last, was this the last thing I wanted to touch on? Oh, I wanted to, yeah. I really don't have no whole bunch to say about what's the guy's name? The baby and Danny Lee. He tried to kind of throw her under the bus, saying that she was still seeing him after he had the whole run-in with her brother, with her brother, because she was in an interview with Angie Martinez, and she was kind of talking about her whole situation with him. I don't think anybody really thought she was a side piece. Um, but her behavior towards the other baby mama was ugly. And now that you are a baby mama, you're going to find out what it is to be in that position, right? You kind of put yourself in that very position. And so that is interesting. And I guess she recognized that now. And so she kind of talks about that as well in the interview with Angie. And she had a song that came out as well. And so in the interview, the song came, he said that he didn't think that was a good idea for her to put the song in the out the same time with the interview. I think it was a good idea. And I think most people do that. I know some other people have done that in the past when if they have anything worth anybody listening to them talk about, they will do their interview and then the videos or the music will come after because you have people's attention, right? So yeah, if you have projects or whatever business, new business or whatever, yeah, she might as well put that stuff out. I think that he was just trying to be funny with that. And then he, of course, was trying to put her out there saying that they were still seeing each other even after the situation with her brother. Um, I don't know. I don't. I I can't call it, child. Y'all can let me know how you feel about all of that. What did you think about her interview? Some people are still kind of holding fire under her over. I'm not the person to be holding on to stuff against people I don't know. I don't know you like that, child. I don't have nothing against you. Um, it's just really none of my business. If I see you for who you are, but I'm not holding anything against anybody that I don't know. Like people need to learn how to, stop holding on to negativity all the time like that. Some people were saying that she knows what colorism, being that she's Dominican, I think, that she knows what colorism because it happens there as well. I don't think she was saying she didn't know what colorism was. I think that she didn't think that what she was saying was what she, classified as colorism by saying that this is what he wants. Um, but clearly she was taking a shot at the other baby mama, right? Uh, Mimi, clearly she would. I think that, yeah, Mimi is the one. I think she was taking a shot at her, and I think everybody who felt that way said that already. But we don't need to keep saying that. She has apologized. I think she gets it. Um, and there's no reason to even concern ourselves with it because she is now Mimi. She, you are now Mimi. So it is what it is. This last story I wanted to talk about, this was in the media. I'm sure, I don't know if you guys heard about this. You probably have. I think some other YouTubers have touched on it already. This lady, she went and killed her boyfriend because she found out he was seeing another woman, right? Now, come to find out once she killed the guy, that the man was married the whole time. Let you guys hear the story.
Well, a surprise twist today for a murder suspect in Spring, Texas. Caught in a love triangle.
A woman accused of killing her lover over his other lover finds out that he had a wife all along too. Fox 26's Tiffany Justice live with this deadly affair.
The wife saying the ME's office finally released the body to her after confusion over who was the real wife. A love triangle leaves a Spring man dead. The Harris County Sheriff's Office saying an adult female, Karen Stewart, advised responding deputies that she shot her husband after he told her he was in love with another woman. That other woman was with him at the time. Karen Stewart is now in jail, charged with murder, bond set at $75,000. The love triangle unfolding as investigators learn more. Stewart is a girlfriend of James Hardgrove, the victim. James married but recently separated.
I got the call that my My husband had been shot, and they took him to Houston Northwest. He didn't make it. It's very hard to believe. We've been married for 14 years. It's very hard to believe.
Sandra Hartgrove, the wife, is in disbelief, saying they separated in November and that she was unaware of the other women.
I've never met the person. I have no idea. My knowledge is she's a caregiver.
She says James was her best friend and they spoke every other day.
Talk to him every other day. I haven't really seen him since my nephew's wedding, but I talk to him every other day. He just recovered from COVID. He had been in the hospital. He was there 5 months. He couldn't walk. He had 2 heart attacks, a stroke, his kidneys failed, and he had just recovered from all of that. So for him to make it through all of that, to end like this, is real disheartening.
Funeral services are set for this weekend. Stewart has been charged with felony murder. Reporting live, Tiffany Justice, Fox 26 News.
Now, isn't that crazy? Like, you really thought you knew this man like that you didn't, but you didn't know that he was married? I was just shaking my head over that story because you just believed everything this person told you, and you had to. For you to not look into him yourself, right? I don't know, that story is it just makes you shake your head. But let me know what you guys think about all of these stories in the comments. You know, Armand now hosting gagging, and when he had all the stuff that he's over there saying about the whole Cardi and Nicki situation. How do you feel about the whole Young Thug and Gunner situation? If you want to talk about that in the comments, and them not getting a bond, with them saying that he was the leader of this. They're probably not going to give him a bond. It would kind of make sense, though, right? I don't know why they didn't give it to Gunner. I haven't read any of reports or anything, but I don't know why they didn't give it to him. But let me know what you guys think about that situation. I know there's a story of people saying things are going on in Chicago, but I don't think that's true. And because that video, it seemed like I've seen that video before. I think it's old. I think that video is old. It was from who was that they went to Chicago and arrest? It was last year sometime. It looked like the same video that people are, floating around saying that this just happened. I don't know, but I do feel like people should pay attention because these things could happen any day in your city, right? So I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about that situation. And another thing that's out here while I'm still on here is this whole Tasha K is talking to members of Carbon Nation. I don't know if that's what they're still calling themselves, Nature Boys people. And some people are saying that she and Nick at Night are cloud chasing. Now, Tasha has spoke on Nature Boy before, and I know Nick at Night has spoke on him before. I mean, just because we're not going to sit and spend every day talking about Nature Boy, it doesn't mean that people can't talk about that situation if they want to. And, she is... Tasha is based in Atlanta, and they are now in Atlanta. That's where he was arrested. So yeah, if she wants to interview them, have you guys seen a preview for that? That's over on her channel. It's on her YouTube channel. Now the actual interview she's probably going to put it up on her website first. But it just don't look like it's informative. I don't think you're going to get any thing from this interview. A lot of please go and look at let me say it like that. Please go and look at the preview. I should have put it in here, but I didn't. She said that she really don't want people. She just recently said that on her Instagram that she really don't want people using her stuff because she's trying to get her traffic over to her website. right? But the preview is up on her YouTube channel. Um, yeah, it's kind of like when she interviewed young Pharaoh. It was a lot of just nonsense to me. It wasn't what's the word I'm looking for? Definitely wasn't informative. It didn't tell us anything, right? That we didn't already know. Um, and so I don't really know if she's going to really bring anything or add anything to that story of why he was arrested, um, and who they feel is responsible for him getting arrested. Because there's a lot of speculation out here about who the witnesses are and who actually the person was that reported the R wording. Um, so I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about all of that. Do you think that they're cloud chasing because they're talking about Nature Boy? Now, mind you, Nature Boy is a YouTuber as well. So, I think that we're all fair in that respect, of talking about stuff that we're putting out here. When any of them are saying anything, we have a right to create a discussion around it, right? I feel. And so if Nature Boy is out here putting stuff out here, people have a right to create discussions around it. Just because people are not focused on him all day, every day, do not mean that we can't speak on it when it comes up. And he was recently in the media. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think it was a good idea for Tasha to even interview them in the first place? Let me know in the comments what you guys think about that situation and all the rest of these stories. And hope you guys have a good weekend. I might come back because it's a couple other things. Maybe I might try to see if I can upload some videos. Sometimes this uploader works, sometimes it don't. But if I can get a couple of videos up, maybe I'll record the video. Otherwise, I might come back a little later or tomorrow, depending on how fast I can get stuff together to talk about a couple other things that's going on. I know I said I wanted to talk about Paul and Tina from Ready to Love. So I I'm gonna try to record it. If I can't, then I'll come back and finish talking about that, because they both were out here, and some other people from the show as well discussing certain things. Um, Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.